with your voice, you can go deep. And I've always been curious. And now that I've met your dad has a really deep voice. So
this guy's got a DJ voice.
No, literally. We were listening to the podcast. You're built for the mic.
Yeah.
You're listening to Smooth Jazz. 103.7.
There we go.
What station is
Coming
it?
to you live, B92, all day, all night.
I love this.
Let's
This is
go.
so good.
It's the day-to-day life. Wanna know what it's like?
Mom.
Just an average family with a few million likes. We're a husband, a wife, and a kid in the limelight. 24/7 just to F and get by. It's a house full of love. No, we can't let it fade. So let's add a podcast just to make it insane. It's that MOMager life. We take it day by day.
Mom.
What do you want? I'm trying to sing a theme song.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to MOMager, a Barton fan podcast where we take you behind the scenes of Hollywood family life. I'm Felicia.
I'm Malachi.
And I'm Loren.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Before we get started, I just wanted to make sure you go follow, subscribe, all of those things wherever you are watching or listening to our podcast. And also don't forget to head over to our Patreon where you can go further behind the scenes of MOMager.
I'm excited to introduce you guys to our guests today because we have the amazingly talented Josh Colley and his beautiful parents.
Yes, Robbie and Brad.
Let's give it up.
I know we have a lot. We have a clap track.
Actually,
We
this is
have a
just for
clap
you
track.
guys. We provided the applause track just for
Thank
you
you so
today.
much. You don't
It's the
do it
first
for
time.
every guest.
Nope, just you guys.
Thanks so
Just
much.
kidding.
There's a different applause track we used for the other
yeah.
guest. That one was much better.
Sometimes
Much
there's a
fuller.
boo. Yeah.
This one's more like
Larger.
Yes.
Larger.
Larger crowds. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so excited you guys are here.
I
We're
know.
happy to be here.
Josh is my little
My
brother.
homie.
My
What
homie.
the hell? You're my homie.
Well, you guys may know Josh from a little bit of Descendants: The Rise of Red,
That's
where
right.
he played his role as Hook.
Is it ringing a bell?
It's ringing a bell.
Is it
Yeah,
ringing a bell?
I'm getting it. I'm getting
Now
hooked.
you can see
Now
it.
I can see it.
As well as his amazing Broadway performances in Newsies and Les Mis.
Thank you. Oh my
Shout
gosh.
out. How was that?
It was incredible. It
Amazing?
was a time of my life. Yeah.
How old were you when you did Broadway?
I was 10.
Mhm.
I was 10 years old. I started out on a national tour
Okay.
of Les Mis. Speaking of tours.
Speaking of tours, we're going on tour together.
We'll get there. I started out when I was 10 on the tour, and then I think I was still 10 when I went to New York and I got Newsies on Broadway, and then that just led to Les Mis on Broadway, the revival. And I've just been doing it since I was just a wee little tot.
Oh, the accent number one. Can we please have an
Can we have an
accent
accent
counter
counter?
That's
for
right,
this
you-
podcast
yeah,
today?
it's
Accent
so
counter,
great.
please.
Yes, Cam, did you catch that note?
Oh, yeah.
And can we please have a dad counter?
Hey!
We got two dads.
I've
We
got
got
a partner
dads
in crime.
over here.
That's right.
Come on, man.
Thank you so
You guys
much.
need to have like
I feel
a
like
handshake.
this is old school for us already.
You guys need to have like a dad handshake by the end of this
yeah, you will.
episode.
We will.
Figure
I
something
will.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, workshop that.
Yeah, if
workshop
you figure that one out, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Well, we already said we're going to talk about tour a lot, but we've also seen you in Dead Boy Detectives, senior year,
I'm
and
it's
Sex
fine.
Appeal.
Thank you. So that's right.
Ah.
That's right. Yeah. It keeps growing.
The
It
list.
does.
Keeps
It
growing the
does.
list.
And
The
also
list.
the animated series Peter Rabbit.
I know.
That's right. Oh my God.
We
Not
did.
you
We
knowing
did.
the lore.
Digging. We did.
We
did.
did some research.
We dug.
You dug.
Sorry, homeschool.
I love it.
Yeah, I did online.
Relatable.
Yep, I did online. I graduated early. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So,
What's your favorite character that you've played so far?
My favorite character that I've played, I really love playing Hook, honestly. I've always wanted to do a character with the British accent. I always wanted to do that. And then,
So
and
good.
when I
So good.
Thank you so much, Lauren. When I finally got to do it, I was just so thrilled. And people were like I tricked people online, a few
Yeah.
people. I was like,
and you did really good with that one video on TikTok.
Hey guys, I've been seeing a lot of discourse online about my voice and whether it's actually this deep, and whether I'm actually British. So I just thought I'd come on here and say yes, this is my actual voice. It's been like this since I was a kid. So yeah, I hope that clears everything up. Love you guys. Do you think that was believable? Okay, so I'm just gonna post that then. Okay.
yeah, I was trying to. what's up, everyone? This is my real voice. I was literally doing that, and I was literally catfishing everybody into thinking that I had a British accent, which was my favorite part about it. But I think definitely Hook. I also loved the fact that that was like a movie musical. And so it kind of blended my roots of theater into the world of like movie and film and TV where we've landed now.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always been so curious where you're like, because you can go like with your voice, you can go deep. And I've always been curious. And now that I've met your dad has a really deep voice. So I'm seeing how it
I was listening to your dad on the way in, and I was thinking this guy's got a DJ voice.
Literally.
all alone.
We were listening to the
same thing
podcast.
too. I mean, like,
Yeah.
It's you're built for this. You're built for the mic.
Yeah.
you're listening to Smooth Jazz.
There you go.
103.7.
There we go.
What station is
Coming
it?
to you live, B92, all day, all night.
I love this.
Let's
This is
go.
so good.
Let's
That was
go.
amazing.
Coming to you live
This
all
is
day, all
such a
night.
great, it's a social clip right there.
So
That's a
fun.
social
I
clip.
love it.
Oh,
Also,
man.
I have kept hearing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again that Robbie, you and I had to meet.
I know.
Now
I see why.
Dara's mom, Kimberly, every
Oh, I
time
love
she
her.
has seen me in like the last few months while we've been doing like tour stuff, she always comes up to me and she goes, I just can't wait until you meet Robbie. She's like, you and Josh's mom are just the same. And I cannot wait for you guys to meet. And now I understand.
I do too. She is a sweetheart.
I know.
I love her.
Love her.
But yeah, they weren't wrong.
No, they were not.
We're both Pisces.
Yeah. And we both also just were like, we sat here like
We're
this.
like-
We're like, oh, this is
Same
this is weird,
I know.
actually.
I know.
Kind of.
I know.
Now
And
you guys
they're
are
kind of similar. They're very similar.
In a way.
Yeah, no, y'all's energy definitely puts off.
We match our
But
we
it's
match
like,
energy.
it's like, I feel like the reason, it's like we're similar, like our energy goes well together, but like we're also very different.
Yeah. I'm handsome. You're average. I'm cool. You're kind of cool.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Yes. This is exactly
No,
what
we're
I was
we're similar, but you guys are really similar.
Yeah.
Everyone would even come up to
Yeah.
me, like everyone would be like, "Oh my gosh, Felicia is so much like your mom. Like they have to meet." And I was like, "Yeah, I agree." And
so
you're
wild.
not coming on tour with us, so you're gonna have to be the understudy mom
It's
for
fine.
me.
I got you.
Okay, good.
I got you. I got you covered. Well, you'll have to give me all of the tips and tricks of being an understudy to mother to Josh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All of the
yeah.
things
And
I need to do.
you've done tour before.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
do you parent Josh?
I'm
Because I
very-
mean, it seems like it'd be really hard.
yeah. He's a handful.
He's a handful.
No, but to parent him is pretty easy. He was very easy even as a child.
Okay, so Josh is like, since the minute we met him, he's kept me personally entertained. Was he like that as a child?
Yeah.
Also, like from the beginning?
Oh yeah, I have videos. I have videos to prove it.
We might need those.
You probably have videos too.
Oh, 100%.
I love
got
that.
some stuff.
I'm so
No,
glad
you
I
don't
have
have
them. But yeah, they're he's got a twin brother,
Yeah.
so they were very entertaining together
From the early days.
From the early days. We do shows, kids shows, and
Yeah.
so they would just emulate them basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
literally.
the verbatim at very very young age, like
Yeah.
2.
Both of you? You and your brother just
Yeah.
like play it
And
off
he would
of
be
each
the
other
director, and
Yeah, I was a little bossy. I won't even lie. Baby Josh was feral.
Your
he was
poor
my
brother.
gosh.
No.
truly, but he went along with it very
Yeah.
nicely. Yeah, but it's so crazy because we both were on Broadway
Yeah.
actually at the same
Really?
time.
Yeah.
We moved to New York and then I was doing theater and Cam was like, well, Cam's my brother. He was like, well, I'm here.
Might as
He was
well.
like, might as well actually just do it.
Right.
And so, and then he also got a show on the same street that
Yeah,
our
45th.
apartment
Convenient.
was.
You
it
can
was
drop
so
them both
nice.
off.
We literally did that.
That's
We would
amazing.
take the boys, and they were about 10 years old.
It was amazing.
And we would walk them, and he'd go to Les Mis, he'd go to Kinky Boots. He was in Kinky Boots.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it just pinched me, right?
That's really
Yeah, it
incredible.
was
And
incredible.
At what age?
Like 10, 11?
Yeah, 10.
Okay.
10, 11.
Wow.
Where are you guys
Like
from?
they did it for a while.
Florida.
Florida. Yes.
He said with a
Yes.
smile.
I am
It was
Florida.
a little southern for,
It was definitely a
Florida
little
is
southern.
south, but like, I mean,
Not that southern.
not that
but,
south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Florida, yeah,
Yeah.
Florida.
Where?
Tampa.
Tampa. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
cool.
Yeah, not the selfie over here.
I am
cutest.
We were trying to sneak in a selfie
Right,
while no one was
we're-
looking.
in a
I knew they
He's
loved
doing
each other.
branding
I
for
know.
our new show,
There
the
you
two
go.
of us, right?
Is that what it's called? The two of us?
The two of us.
The two of us.
I love it.
Great.
The Swiss Army knives over there. Yeah, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
Don't mind us. We're
That
making
is-
plans.
So when you look back at some of those moments, like what sticks out as one of your like most proud moments as a mom, looking at your kid and the things that he had done specifically in the business?
Yeah,
Obviously, there's moments
specifically in
being
the
proud.
business.
It's just
You know, I don't know. They're all. I'm proud of all of them. They're all so unique. But I always feel like A Bronx Tale. He did a show called A Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
And like the big name in that was that Robert De Niro directed that.
Wow.
Was one of the directors.
Wow.
So that's like really, I'm like, I can't wait to tell everybody.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to tell them this one.
Yeah.
So that was really a moment, right?
Yeah.
That was one of
Yeah.
many, but yeah.
And that was my first time that I had like my own song in a show that was like just mine, and it was like a big moment. So
it was a big showstopper.
That's
know.
awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And so what was that transition like for you guys as a family too, moving from Florida? Did you all move to New York at that time?
It all started with an email I wrote to Mary Sugarman. And I was like, just bored one day. And there's that computer right there. Like,
danger.
Yeah, danger. I'm like, so I was literally like a momager at that point. I was like, let's see what I can do. Because I knew he could sing, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's something here.
Yeah.
And I was looking locally. I was just going to do community theater,
sure.
you know, maybe some professional
Yeah.
theater in town.
Yeah. In Florida.
And, and he got a Christmas Carol in like a nice theater.
Great.
And I was like, gosh, he looks like he could do Gavroche because he was up on the shoulder. And I was like, that's something Gavroche would do.
Yeah.
And I, you know, after that, I wrote to Mary Sugarman, and she said, send a video in, and the rest is literally history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were in the lobby. The kid that was like also auditioning for A Christmas Carol had just come from the Les Mis audition.
Oh, wow.
And then my mom was like, what was that casting director's name? I forget it. Didn't know it, probably.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then she told it. And then my mom the whole way home was like, Mary Sugarman, like trying to remember it. And then just cold
Is that
emailed
something
her.
you would do?
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that something you do?
100%. Yeah, I mean, I think
Figured.
that's the thing that like when you see the potential in your kid,
Yeah.
you know, that they, again, we've talked about this on the podcast a million times, whether you're a baseball player or you want to be, I don't know, anything. Like there's
Soccer,
anything.
gymnastics.
Right. You see potential and you want to find a way to put your kid in the best position to win.
Yeah.
And winning doesn't necessarily mean they have to like book something but just to win in life, right?
Yeah.
To feel successful.
Foster the interest in it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's like I think that's those moments. You go, I see my kid can do this. I
Yeah.
see he has incredible potential. He's a great singer. He's a great actor. You know, we've done the same with Malachi. I see there's something different. There, what is it?
But even then, even though I was like, wow, I feel like he's really good. Now I know he's really good.
Yeah.
But you know, you don't want to
Oh,
say that
shucks.
as a mom, you don't be like, but you know, you don't want to brag. But I had to like go, how can somebody see him? And I was just thinking local. I was just thinking local. And like I said, I just did that one little thing and it took us to New York. And it just kind of all this, just kind of set off from there, right?
Yeah. It's crazy how one little thing can just change your life completely. And my parents were so like game for it. Like, and my brother, everyone just dropped everything in Florida. Like they had a career, they had a business and everything that they were doing. And they were just like this feels more important to like, to give our kids like, to start their careers and their lives. And
It just felt more important to do that at that moment.
Yeah.
What were you guys
know?
doing at the time?
We actually own a production company. We produce educational programming for children. So we develop plays, educational musicals, and we tour them around the schools, theaters, libraries, family events, anywhere that you'll find family or children in an attempt to kind of cultivate the arts, you know, and then teach good, valuable life lessons along the way. You know, we kind of infuse that into the program with
That's incredible.
modern music and, you know, good stories, good morals, good good life lessons, you know, that you can teach kids.
Yeah,
That's
they're
amazing.
musical
Love that.
theater kids, in short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
You
such
two are.
musical theater. Yeah.
Yes,
And
definitely.
is
Yeah,
that program
we've-
still going on?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
actually
This
own,
is-
it's
what-
called Playing Around
Playing Around,
Theater
okay.
Company, and we
Okay.
kind of developed that name in the sense that we were going to be traveling around, bringing plays around to different locations. So it was playing around, but the true name took on a whole nother meaning in the sense that we love doing what we were doing so much that it was like, it didn't seem like work.
It still
It was
doesn't.
literally
We
us
love
just
going to work every
playing
day.
around.
Wow.
So it's
It's
like,
so much fun.
yeah. But that was, you know, we were doing really, really great with that in Florida. But when, like any time you see an opportunity that presents itself for your children, you know, you do whatever it is. I'm sure like parents, you see them driving hundreds of miles for soccer games or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Theater was just that kind of vehicle for Josh. You know, we saw that opportunity and
And I just
as a
remember
parent,
thinking
you
too,
take
like,
it.
Right.
if he's going to audition for this, if he's really going to put a video out to a real casting, you know, like the real thing, New York, Broadway,
Yeah.
or touring, I said, we can't just do it.
Yeah.
We have to be able to say yes.
Yeah.
Or what happens if he does get it?
Yeah.
You know, there's a good chance, because I wouldn't put him out there if I didn't think there was a good chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And-
when I got it, weren't you like debating going for a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like,
To the
gosh,
last
a
day.
tour.
Yeah, to the
Wow.
very
I
last
wanna
second.
leave.
The
I didn't- you know, it
morning,
just
she
dawned on
was
me, I have to
saying-
go.
She
But
was
yeah.
saying, no, call him, tell him we're not going to come. Just because we had never done it. And we were very
Yeah.
apprehensive about it, you
scared.
know. But we literally, I was like, I grabbed everybody and we put them on the plane and we were like, this is it. You know, this is the beginning
Wow.
of an adventure. And that's exactly what it was. It was the start to an adventure that just kept snowballing.
And it just kept going
one
and
thing
going.
to the other. So I
Wow.
always say that to people, you know, like if they have an opportunity, take that chance. You know what I mean? Because it's that one opportunity that you go, it's, some people say lightning in a bottle, but it can be just that, being in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, but if you don't commit to it fully, there's a chance that you may have left something behind. You know what I mean?
And that's
No
a good
regrets.
point,
Yeah, no
that
regrets.
if your kids are talented, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, okay, so are you talented? And then when you're 18, you're going to go do this. But sometimes you can't wait that long,
Yeah.
because it's like, I don't know how special this is going to be at 18. Right now,
Yeah.
it's pretty darn special.
Yeah.
So for us, it was kind of like, let's act on it now. Let's, strike while the
Well, it's a
iron's
big
hot.
commitment too when you're thinking
For the
about it as
commitment,
a
yeah.
parent and you're getting them involved in that type of production as a child, you know, because you're going,
Yeah.
does my child have what it takes to be this part that they're asking them to be, you know? So
And then
that's
we
a
had to
big
ask
commitment.
ourselves, are
Yeah.
we
ready
Are
for
we going to
this?
just leave our house, leave our business, do this for, I think it was like maybe a 6 month,
Started off with
maybe.
6
And
months,
then, you know, it starts with 6 months and they add if you want to stay. And we ended up staying 11 months, and then he got
Wow.
Newsies.
Then you're
but-
like, we're here.
but
Yeah, we're like,
the
time to
parents,
go to New York.
the parents, it's their job.
Yeah.
You know, you think
Yeah.
oh, my kid got booked.
Yeah.
And he's got a job. No, you do.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
have a job.
love that you brought that up though, because I think there's something that a lot of families like that, you know, they ask you, I'm
Yeah.
sure they ask you guys all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time too. They ask us all the time, like, what does it take? What should I do to get into this business? And here's the thing. The fact is that it's a huge, huge risk.
Yeah.
It's a big risk.
Yeah.
And it's going to take up a lot of your time, and it's going to be, it's not all cake and ice cream. Like
No.
it's really difficult. And so you have to make that decision as a
Yeah.
family. Like, are we willing? Are we ready? You know,
Yeah.
is this right for our family?
Yeah.
But also, I love that you said it's kind of lightning in a bottle. There are moments that come around and you go, man, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's take the risk. I
Yeah.
love, and what a gift for you, Josh,
Oh
to
my
have
gosh.
parents that understand the creativity side of
Yes.
everything.
Oh my gosh, having parents that cultivate that
Yeah.
like is so important. I feel like that's what'll stop like a really talented kid
Yeah.
from getting out there. It's really the parents that need to like
Get
you
'em
know
there.
to really
Yes.
like believe in them
Mhm.
and be willing to like make the jump. And like also it's like it's such a sacrifice just even like in family dynamics, because of course some people get left behind. And
Sure.
like my brother, like that was never like an option for my family. Like my dad, my mom, and my brother, they were like, we're not doing it unless we all can go. You know what I mean? Like we all have to go on this journey together and stay as the unit. Cause I heard you guys talking about on your other podcast that you guys are very much like a unit.
Yeah.
And it was very similar for us where it's like, we're a unit and we move as one thing because this business can get a little, like a little hectic. And so having that grounding and humbling, family dynamic, your roots, some could say, traveling with the roots. It's so important. Yeah,
it's major help.
It sounds like an adventure. It sounds like your family went on an adventure together.
Yeah, that's such a good way to put it.
And there's no guarantee of where that ends up. Where does it take you? You know.
Nope.
And I'm also hearing that they made a huge investment in you, Josh. So what has that meant to you to know that your family's willing to make that drastic of a move on your behalf?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, as a kid, I really didn't think about it. Honestly, I was like, yep, let's go. Like, cool. Like I didn't think about the weight of everything. Cause also they didn't let me know the weight of what they were doing, just jumping, leaving their house, leaving their company, leaving all of that for us. Like they didn't like let me know any of that.
Yeah.
They made it just seem like, yep, we're going. Like, let's go. Like, they made it so fun for me. And I was like, yeah, this is so fun. This is what I want to do. But then like, of course, as time goes on and you're like, oh, this apartment's really expensive in New York. I gotta get another, like it gets a little heavy.
Yeah.
But no, it was such, I mean, it's amazing. And obviously it worked out pretty well for all of us. I think like, obviously like with all the sacrifices, it ended up being worth it because we're still here doing it. And like, it was always important for me to have them with me and everything.
And even older now too.
Yeah, of course.
Like you're not a teenager
a million
anymore.
percent. I don't send a self-tape without my mom watching it first and being like, you know what I mean? Like,
what is that involvement like still now? Same?
Yeah, it's kind of the same. It's not. I do a lot by myself now. And it's kind of like my mom doesn't even know. Like I'll tell her the project. She still gets so excited. My dad too. Like they get so excited about the project and stuff. But it's more like, I'm doing this and then I go do it and then I'll show them the tapes and stuff because I just like having their opinion. I think because nobody knows me better than them. So I'm like, do I look stupid doing this? But yeah, it's definitely more like I do it on my own a little bit more now, but they're still along the journey the whole time. And I let them in on all the fun stuff. Like we got to go to D23 and everything like that.
Wait,
and
we didn't meet you at D23.
No.
We were there.
Wait, how? We were literally there.
I know.
And I saw you there.
We were there
I know.
Where were you?
I'm so sorry.
You both were there?
I
both were there,
was.
yeah.
So funny.
I think that
I
was
remember
before.
seeing Malachi several,
We just didn't,
in the
like,
rooms when you guys would get together in between press junkets that you were headed
Wait,
to.
yeah, you were
know.
in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just
Well,
didn't.
Malachi's kind of a big deal. He doesn't really hang out with
He
everybody
had
at
a-
those
he had a-
events.
we couldn't
you
get
know.
past
He was very
security.
Right, because
Yeah.
I'm more
He was the
handsome than
bodyguard.
Josh.
Wouldn't
so-
let us
Let
say
me
hi.
hang out with him. You know, sometimes I get I'd like stay in the car. You're not
we have
allowed.
to like,
Yeah.
He doesn't even let us come
No
around.
pictures,
anymore.
sunglasses,
Now
can't
that
look
he's
him in the
18,
eyes.
you know,
Yeah, he
the
knows
rules have
everything.
changed.
Ooh, yeah,
100%.
finally, phew,
It's a lot.
yeah.
That's a lot.
I just need the voices and stuff so that I can like be a super undercover.
Yeah.
The voices
Yeah.
that Josh could do.
He's going to
Do you
teach
have
them to you.
do you have 1,000 different characters inside your head?
I feel like I do.
Like
Even when he was little, he'd have
at
all
once.
those characters. He would have. What's the one I love so much?
I don't remember. There's
Oh,
too many.
please.
There's too
All
many.
right, give
There
us some
really
of your
is.
voices.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know.
How about this? How about this? How about this? For
hard.
the next, let's say the next like couple minutes of the podcast, you have to speak in a different. You have to do different.
Okay,
different
I'll do the
different
British
characters.
accent. I'll talk down here.
and then you have to change
Okay.
at some point.
Okay.
Whenever you say change.
Yeah, keep it going.
All right, sounds
Well,
good.
I was actually thinking about just your voices, and
Yeah.
it's actually kind of like real life Inside Out. Like,
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
it's
actually.
real life.
yeah.
It really is.
When did you start like figuring out voices?
I don't even know. I think just being a theater kid is like being a theater kid. Let me tell you, it's real interesting. I don't know. It's just watching a lot of media. Okay, watching lots of shows, hearing lots of accents, meeting a lot of different people.
Oh, wow, this is a good one. Nice challenge, though.
I don't know, guys. By the way, I have throat problems right now. Okay, my throat hurts.
Oh, bless.
Or else I would give you the whole thing. I'd give you the whole spectrum. Elmo, I have them all
Do you?
in my
Oh, I do
repertoire.
Elmo.
Yeah,
I knew the Elmo theme song.
do it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Do it with me.
Okay.
3.
That's more like Oscar the Grouch, honey. That's not that.
What
Wait,
the heck?
see, that was legit.
Fish is crowned. That's where I'm the most proud.
Give it up.
That's every podcast I go on, I end up.
Come on, give it up for the voices. There we go.
You guys, thank you so much. No, hey, thank you for the adulation. I needed this
love
today.
that
What's
so much.
adulation?
Adulation, Malachi Brown, is just like people like, I don't know, being
It's
like,
home
yeah, being
supportive.
like giving you compliments and stuff.
I love it. Okay, well, I
Keep
also
adulating.
I
Doesn't
want to make
sound
sure
right.
we throw up we'll add the link to the Playing Around Theater stuff too
Okay.
in our description. I love what you guys are doing with that and spreading the arts
Thank
in
you.
education.
Yes.
It's
Thank you.
so important. I was a musical theater kid growing up myself, and I
Really?
in arts and education, like as in high school specifically, it
Yeah.
was so important to
Yeah.
me. I grew up singing in church, but when I was in school, I was singing, I was in choirs and theater and all of the things. And it was a really huge part of my life growing up and making me who I still to this day keep in touch with my choir director from high school.
What shows have you done?
I did Grease.
What part did you play?
I was Sandy in Grease.
No way.
I was. It was
All
actually
right.
kind of fantastic.
I was
went to-
Rizzo in Grease.
Were you?
Let's go.
I love it. We did Hello Dolly, Grease.
I did Hello Dolly.
Did you?
Wait, come on, let's give it up for talented moms. Talented moms, let's go.
At this point, though, at this point, if I say something, just say you did it anyways. The pajama game.
I didn't do
pajama
that.
Game.
That's not what you were supposed
Yeah,
to
you were
say.
supposed to say
That wasn't your
Me too,
line.
me too.
I never follow directions. I never follow.
Yeah, that was
Didn't
it's
you
just
do,
so
Bye Bye
important.
Birdie?
Bye Bye Birdie.
I did too. Were you Rosie?
No, I was not Rosie. Actually, I can't even remember who I was in Bye Bye Birdie. I need to.
Hi, Margie.
You just went there. I love that. That's incredible. You really do have musical theater parents.
I really do. Oh
This
my
is
gosh, she
incredible.
knows more
Who'd
about
you
musical
play?
theater than I.
Who am I?
Yeah, who like
Tom
You know
Sawyer.
what?
You're Tom Sawyer.
I was Tom Sawyer, believe it or not,
Yes.
like in elementary school.
Wait, tell that story. That's a good
In
story.
elementary
gosh.
school, I had nothing to do with the arts or anything. I was kind of like really in the background type of person. And then I remember they were asking all the kids in elementary school, we want you to draw a picture for the playbill for our show that we're going to have Tom Sawyer, you know. And I was actually running a spotlight for the show. And I was just there for all the rehearsals and everything. I drew the little picture just like all the kids in school. And like the week before the show was to be, presented for the school, they announced the winner for the playbill drawing, and it was my drawing that was going to be on the playbill for the thing. So I was super excited about that. I was like, hey, I get the, everybody's like, your drawing's so cool. It's going to be on there. I was like, awesome. That's cool, but I'm still the spotlight guy. That's all I'm really looking to do, And then 3 days before the opening night, the Tom Sawyer fell violently ill.
Oh,
And
no.
the backup, the person who was going to be understudying got violently ill because they were both in the
No.
same thing together. And
you
I
get
had
up
been
violently.
violently enough where they weren't going to be able to do the show. And they were like, is anybody, what can we do?
You're like, I've been listening to
And
it the
I've been
whole
listening. Exactly. I was listening.
That's
And
so
so I knew all the lines and everything.
Wow.
And they pulled a couple of people forward. They said, who can do the lines? And I remembered all the lines, and they would go, boom, you're in. And I ended up taking on the lead of the show.
That is fantastic.
And that was the first thing
To rave
I had
reviews,
ever
I
done.
might add.
To rave reviews. Thank you.
Rave
Thank
reviews.
you.
Come on,
Yeah.
There's the
adulation we're
It
talking
was
about.
to be known as the best performance of Tom Sawyer
That's
in
right.
all of New Orleans history.
Yes.
There we go.
I love it. I love that.
But no, I actually, from that point on, I had not done nothing until I met Robbie.
Yeah.
And that was just a sheer coincidence, another similar situation
Yeah.
where she had opened the company and then she hired someone that wasn't working out. And Robbie and I had been working on the music and the lines for the show. He couldn't work out. She fired him, hired me to do the show. And
The day before.
Yeah.
The day before. It was like the day before.
that was
of
in
the- of our
1999 was their first show.
And I was like, I don't think we can't work together. There's no way we're married. People don't work together that are married. We'll get in fights,
Yeah.
And then you did it, and it was like, oh, he's really good at this. He's been watching. And I think it really helped that you watched so much.
I
You
mean,
got it.
clearly you got that from being Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
You've been watching him. You're
Osmosis,
paying
yes,
attention.
yeah.
He's,
Absorbed it.
he's very good at a lot of different things. That's how I think that's how you are too.
He is very
You're good at
good.
a lot of different things.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
The Swiss Army knives over there.
Right.
Whatever
Whatever it takes.
we do,
Whatever
right?
it takes.
You know what? Also, it's so funny because you have that theater experience in elementary school, and Loren holds on to his one theater
This is
experience
true.
also.
Run
Do
it
you
back.
have a similar story?
Really?
Well, you know, I like to remind Malachi as often as I can that I did play the lead in Cheaper by the Dozen in my senior play.
No
Take that
way.
Did you?
No.
Good job.
That was good.
Yeah, like I was 17, not 18 yet, and they dyed my hair gray, and I had 12 kids.
Oh my
and it was
gosh.
you know,
I need
No way.
pictures.
To rave reviews, I'm sure.
I
To
wish
rave
I don't even know
reviews.
if there are pictures.
His mom gives
certainly
rave
not digital
reviews.
Yeah,
pictures,
right.
but
The only one that matters,
That's
really.
we'll
right.
dig and see what we can find. But okay, so my core memory of that though is just I remember it being down to the wire, like the night before, and in classic Loren procrastination mode.
Yeah.
I'm up at it's like 2 a.m. and I'm trying to cram the last of the
Whatever
lines
you can
into
get
my
in there,
brain.
yeah.
And just scared to death, like picturing myself on the stage, forgetting
Did that all go away when you hit stage, or was it still kind of?
It kind of just worked out.
Yeah,
It
did.
did.
He made it all up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I may have ad-libbed a
fine.
little bit, and but I know I love this. I'm not the theater kid that y'all are,
Right.
No,
but
neither am I.
Well,
Neither
I
am I,
mean,
yeah.
I'm not convinced.
I think
'cause-
you accidentally are.
Yeah, he
I'm
accidentally
sorry.
became
I
a
think you
theater.
accidentally
No.
are
If you can
a
sing
theater
every
kid.
lyric to
No,
Les
I
Miserables,
get
you're a
it.
theater
Everybody-
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
became
the
one.
test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
I had to
test.
learn quickly.
Later in
Yeah,
life,
no.
theater
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
Of course.
I love it now, though. I honestly do. I think.
Well, I fell in love with him because he was mowing my dad's lawn back in the days.
There you go.
And he had the Walkman. Remember the Walkman?
Yes.
remember the Walkman.
And I was like, nobody else would ever listen to my music. And I'd be like, okay, I get it. It's theater and people aren't into that. People are into Guns N' Roses
Yeah.
and Motley Crue and stuff like that. And then I said, would you please? Not thinking he would. And he listened to Les Miserables whilst mowing the lawn. And he came back and he said, I liked it.
I liked
I
it. It was a
He
great,
did.
it was a good show.
He loved it. And then we went and saw it
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Cole
That was
Wilkinson.
one of our kind of earlier
That was
first
our
dates.
first-
that
yeah,
we
one of
went
our first
on because
dates.
she loved the theater, and I said, you know what, I'm going to bring this girl to see a show that she likes.
And you loved it.
And how long
Yeah.
ago was that?
That had to be like 1991.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when Colm Wilkinson was actually
Yeah.
doing the tour.
He did the tour.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
we were
Yeah,
sitting
it was amazing.
I got great seats that time, so it was like we were like 4 rows back,
It was
and we were
fun.
sitting there, and it's like Colm Wilkinson,
And it was his
like,
first show. What a
Yeah.
great
My
show
first
to
show.
How
start.
full
Yeah.
circle too,
Boy.
where we ended up,
I
and
know,
then I
it's
was on
crazy.
stage. Didn't you guys meet Colm Wilkinson at the Broadway?
We did,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Wow.
spoke
We
with
did.
him.
You're
Yeah.
like one of
At the
our
premiere.
first dates.
That's so cute.
It was just a surreal. A lot of those moments have been like that. You know, you. I think for Robbie and I, especially me, is getting because I got a lot of time. Parents do this. That's like the kids get the part or they get the role,
Mhm.
and then the parents are the facilitators. They're the ones who have to bring them there
Totally.
every day and bring them back. And then there's that time when the your child is doing the performance that the parents are like kind of in this limbo where you're like, what do I do?
What do I-
you know,
right.
in between shows
Yeah.
and stuff. But you get a lot of time to meet some of these people that are involved with these shows or these
Mm.
programs that you idolized as you grew
Yeah.
up, you know, like Jerry Zaks and Robert De Niro and
Billy
Chaz
Porter.
Palminteri.
Mhm.
I'm having lunch in a New Jersey deli with Chaz Palminteri,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
telling me, you know,
Yeah.
just neighborhood kind of like logic and things like that. It was just surreal moments like
Yeah.
that you kind of meet some of their
Leah
idols
Salong, I
along
got
the
to meet
way.
because of
Yeah.
him, and that's like my idol. It's just
Incredible.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a surreal thing.
Yeah.
Like can't
Malachi,
believe it.
Did you ever do theater? Or and would you ever do theater?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would. I've never really like.
It wasn't on your radar,
Yeah,
really.
it wasn't on
to
my radar
do.
to do anything musical.
Mhm.
And then obviously we did Zombies,
Of
and I kind
course.
of fell in love with it. And then I saw Milo doing
American
Little
Idiot.
American Idiot.
American
Oh,
Idiot.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
I know. Little shop too now.
I know.
So
Did
good.
American Idiot, and we went and saw it, and it
It was
was.
so
You were
good.
like, I like
So
this.
It was like,
Well,
okay,
you've
I would
always-
love to do something like that.
And
It
you've,
was
we've
so
always
fun.
doing
taken
that.
him to Broadway, like since he was little.
Really?
Yeah, we've
Aw.
always like theater's been a
Aw.
huge part. So we take
A
trips to
love
New
of it,
York,
yeah.
and
I
we've
love
always made
that.
sure that that was like a part of
I
his
love
life.
that.
And so even especially the last like 5 years, I would
Yeah,
say.
no, we've seen a good
Which
amount
is
of shows.
also a musical on Broadway right now. The last 5 years.
Is it really?
That's the
I
name
could
of when.
see you
Nick
doing that.
Jonas.
though. I could
That's
see you
right. I would
easily.
see that. We just were there in
Outsiders or something.
December.
Yeah, you
we
could do
saw
that.
The Outsiders.
We saw The
yeah.
Outsiders. Have you
That
guys
was
seen? Have you guys
fantastic.
seen Maybe Happy Ending yet?
No,
No.
Darren, Chris,
To
and
me,
Helen.
top 3. We saw.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
One
I know. I've heard
incredible.
great things. Michael
Yeah.
Arden directed that.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yes,
Insane.
it is incredible.
Oh my God.
My-
And you do
Our
theater
friend's a
now?
producer on that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
Shout out Pam.
Yeah. So I think. So I
Would
think
you ever
it
do
turned
theater?
I have felt that maybe at some point I would love to go
Come
back into
on.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you
always
need
say she
to.
should do it too. I'm like, I
Yeah.
want her to
Well, her
like.
voice is still nice and strong.
Yours is too.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Yes.
Okay, so we're starting a radio show.
100%. It is your mother 100%. Wow.
So we're starting a radio show, and y'all are writing a
We're
Broadway
right-
musical.
yeah,
absolutely.
Starring
Yeah.
yourselves.
One of the
a lot
things with
happening,
Malachi
yeah.
when he, when zombies came around, he's always been since he was little, he would say, "Mom, you're the singer and I'm the actor." And so, and then when he sang over the years, like he did a show called Fancy Nancy, an animated series on
Mia
Disney
Janess.
Junior. And
our
so,
friend-
yeah.
Our friend is Nancy.
She was in Les Mis with me.
Oh,
On the tour
It's a
and
small
Broadway.
world.
It's a small
Mia,
world,
right?
but
Yeah,
continue.
we're
but
very good
continue.
friends with
Yeah.
them.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So when he
You are
did,
Fancy Nancy.
yeah, he was.
Shout out Lionel.
Is that your part?
No.
Yeah,
Lionel.
he was the boy on the show.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
Yeah, and he had a few songs to sing in that.
I had a song called
I've got two sides.
I had a song called I've Got Two Sides.
Sing it.
No.
Hit it.
Here he was.
Oh,
Here he
that
was.
was him.
There's
It's
Lionel.
so cute.
Oh,
It's
Lionel.
so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Do you have the recording of I've Got Two Sides?
I mean, I'm
I
sure I
wonder if
could
it's on
find it.
YouTube.
No, it's
out
on
there.
iTunes too.
Okay.
But our friend Matt Tischler, he wrote
Love
that song
Matt.
too. Yeah, Matt's like one of my best friends.
I-
We've written hundreds of songs
Oh my
together.
gosh.
Yeah,
You
worked
guys
together for
You guys
years.
in such a small world.
It's such a small
It
world.
is.
And that's New York, and they're in New York.
no.
Who's that?
Or are they
Matt.
here?
They're
Matt's
here,
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, they're
Matt's
here,
here.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, I think it should be game time.
Game
Lauren?
time.
Games.
All right.
Yeah.
do
We wanted to play a game, a little segment / game.
What do we got, Dad?
All right, let's play a little game together called Descendants versus Zombies. I think
Dum,
it's.
dum, dum.
I think we should pit Josh against Malachi.
I love this.
Love it.
Battle to the death.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
Are you ready?
I got a sword, fool.
You do.
Cheers.
All right, here we
All
go.
right.
If you had to choose a sidekick, would it be Evie from Descendants or Addison from Zombies?
Sidekick?
A sidekick. I feel like Addison.
Yeah.
To be honest, I feel like the cheerleading aspect could.
Because she's a good leader. Like, have you seen her lead?
Yes.
Like, she's a good leader, a sidekick.
But I like the cheerleading perspective. She's gonna be like,
Yeah,
"You got
exactly.
this."
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So I'm
And
gonna go
a cool
Addison.
kickflip. That
Cool
seems like
kickflip.
a
Good point.
the gymnastics aspect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All
I
right.
would say we both say Addison.
Addison.
That's
yeah.
1 point for Zombies. Let's
Oh
go.
wait, I need to defend my.
No, this isn't a game. This isn't a game. This isn't a competition.
I was like, well, Evie's the queen. I was like ready to get into it.
You can approach this game however you want.
Okay, word.
All right, here we go. Who would be more likely?
Zombies.
I had to say the sentence.
Who would be more likely to start a flash mob? Carlos from Descendants or Bucky from Zombies?
That's so hard.
That is
Carlos,
hard,
though.
but Bucky, I think.
I'm gonna have to say Carlos. Shout
Oh
out
my
Cameron.
gosh.
Yeah, I would say him for sure.
Shout out Cameron.
I also
Shout
feel
out
like
Cameron
okay,
for sure.
flash mob too. When you're
Flash
thinking
mob.
flash mob,
Yeah.
No, because Bucky would pull through. With the
Bucky
flash mob.
has like a whole army of dancers. Like,
Yeah,
of
he
course
does.
he
Bucky
would.
would plan a flash
Oh,
mob.
okay. Yeah.
You
You're
know what I
right.
mean? He would plan it.
He would.
Carlos would be up front.
Oh, Carlos
killing
would eat
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
dance mob. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'll say Carlos too, actually.
All right, love you, Cameron.
All right. So where does
1
that
point
put us?
Descendants.
Is that where are we at?
Sounds like 1
or-
point.
What?
There's no
no,
points to
it's,
this
it
game.
is one zombies, one descendants.
Okay, I like it. You ready?
Yeah.
Who would be better at a job interview? Uma from Descendants or Eliza from Zombies?
Ugh. Eliza has that degree.
Eliza's
Eliza's got that
Eliza's a
degree.
genius. That's
Eliza
I mean,
is a
she lived
genius.
in a computer for an entire
It's true. It's
She
true.
was a robot.
It's true, but Uma has the street smarts and is
But
the
now-
principal now. So
But now think about this.
Huh.
Let me just hear me out.
All right.
Hear me out. What was a job interview? When
Yep.
when depending on the job, when the interviewer, like whoever the company is wanting you to come on board with them, they're looking for somebody that's put together, that is
right.
that is very knowledgeable in so many different branches of business. And I just feel like Eliza's knowledge is so diverse among so many things
Yeah.
that like she just would be able to like be a
Wait,
great
Eliza, I
problem
thought you said you were
solver.
going to argue for Uma.
No.
I misheard you.
Well, what is the job?
Yeah, give us a
Good
job.
question.
Give us a job.
Okay.
McDonald's.
Fish fillet. Uma's got that.
That's funny.
What can I say?
Okay, I mean, I think
I'll
I'm
give
with
it
you.
to Eliza.
I feel like Eliza's gonna have. I like
Shout
I
out
agree.
the well-rounded Eliza. She's
I agree,
gonna
I
be able to
agree,
handle
I
all
agree.
the. Yeah,
Okay.
agree.
All right, this next one, Josh, might be a stretch for you because you haven't seen Zombies 4 yet.
I say more than you think.
Have you now?
I have this. I have the inside scoop.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
So,
More of an inside scoop than we do.
Who do you-
Probably see more than we have.
who do you want on your side in a fight? Red from Descendants or Nova from Zombies?
Ooh.
Talk it out.
This is a hard
Well,
one.
Without spoiling anything from Zombies, Nova's great. Nova's got some things.
Yeah, she has some skills.
Nova's got some skills, but Red's a menace. She's a rebel. She's a menace. She's a one-go riot. Some have said. Some have said. And so I'm gonna have to say Red on that one.
Honestly, okay, here's my knowledge about Freya. You're my girl. Love you. You're very sweet. Nova's very nice.
She can be feisty though.
Can be very feisty.
She takes care of things.
If it's like straight up down to the nitty gritty, like you're like beat, like I feel like Red wins in like a fight like that just because it's like
I feel like Red has street smarts.
Red has the
does
street
Yeah.
smarts,
Yeah.
and she's had to deal with her mom for so long.
that's a lot.
She's been
Exactly.
fighting
Yeah.
That's a
battles
lot.
since she was a wee tot.
She has
Oh,
childhood
yeah.
trauma.
Yeah, she has a lot of trauma
does.
she's got to
That'll make
deal
you
with.
mean.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Who's more likely to break into song in the middle of a conversation?
Ooh.
Freya.
No.
Well, true. Very true. And if you watch the podcast, you know that. Mal from Descendants or Willa from Zombies?
Mal.
I think Mal.
I think
yeah, Mal.
Mal's- Mal's got-
Chandler is not like a.
No, bro. No, brother.
I just think
no.
that Chandler is not the type to just like just to start like singing a song. You know.
I
You
agree.
know what I'm
Maybe
talking
howl
about.
at
Like, I
the
just think-
moon, but
Here's
not
what I
sing a
think-
song.
Here's what I think, brother. I think
Yeah.
if Chandler
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like actually trying to sing, bro,
Yeah.
then I just don't think she's gonna do that. But I
I
think
don't.
Mal is
Yeah.
like. Yeah. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
2 gallon event.
No, yeah. No, literally.
Hey, SOS.
Yeah.
Somebody rescue me. I got,
Guys,
you know what I mean?
that deserves a round of
Good job.
applause.
Yeah,
Thank you
good
so
job.
much.
There's a bonus
I'm Central
question.
Steven.
Bonus question.
Okay.
There's a bonus question.
Which franchise should be made into a Broadway musical immediately?
Oh, that
Ooh, honestly, they're both. They both would be
I
really
think the Zombies
good.
Worlds Collide tour should be made into a
Thank
musical.
you. I was
Yeah.
just thinking
Why
that.
why do we have to choose?
Yeah.
Why
It's
do
a
we have to
crossover.
choose when you can
Perfect,
collide
yeah.
the
there you
worlds?
go.
When you can collide the worlds.
As you see right now. Can
Come
really
see
is.
the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide tour.
There you go.
We were just at the Snow White premiere this
Yes,
past
we
week.
were.
Shout out.
We had so much fun.
Man.
I actually
did.
really loved the film.
Me too.
I've heard
Those
nothing
music,
but great.
Pasek and Paul, 8.
Yeah,
It was
It's really
incredible.
great.
It was
I
gorgeous.
had like a few things. I didn't know what to expect, first of all, because
Yeah.
it's turning it into a musical.
Yeah.
And you just don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Pasek and Paul, love them.
Cool.
It felt seamless to me the way
Yeah.
the music was integrated into that story. I thought it was
Wow.
seamless. It felt like it was a part of the story
Yeah.
I agree.
already. Like I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, oh yeah, these are new songs.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
So great.
But we went to the premiere and the boys were walking together on the red carpet. And I was dying because on these red carpets, you know, we have Disney gives you like a handler, someone to kind of walk with you down the carpet. Shout out Paula.
Shout out Paula.
Shout out Paula. Paula was the handler. They both had one and then they were like wanted to walk together and so they could take some pictures together and stuff. And so Paula just took the both of them.
Take care of us, Paula.
And so I was just laughing so much because as you know, red carpets are just a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a very busy.
It was so busy.
It was,
was-
very packed.
It was quite
Very packed.
quite hectic.
Yeah.
But like there was a moment where I felt like I could just feel my inner publicist coming out.
Really?
Yeah, like I could feel all of my MOMager spidey senses were tingling. I was like, I need to make this happen right now. Like this needs to, like, just because they were about to shut down the carpet. The boys hadn't had pictures yet. And I'm like, we need to make this happen. I felt like I was definitely putting on my MOMager hat as a publicist. Yes. And then later that night, I realized that day I had, the day before when we found his outfit, I had helped style him.
So good.
It was
did
great.
all of his,
she looked so nice.
Did his grooming, did his makeup for the thing. I also drove him. So I was his chauffeur.
I could have driven myself.
Go MOMager.
Okay. Yeah. I style, hair, makeup. Well,
And
no,
I
you didn't
kinda
make
styled
your
myself.
hair. I definitely made you go to that other store. You were going to wear a whole nother outfit.
That is very true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
So I was in like full MOMager mode for that
They're so
premiere.
funny.
And then also
You guys are just
the
like
only
us.
thing that I did do was my hair.
yeah, you did your
And I
hair.
could have driven myself.
And you could have driven
But I
yourself,
didn't drive myself.
but you didn't. Yeah.
I got it on myself.
Yeah. But I feel like we talk about like the hats that MOMagers wear all the time. What is one of your favorite hats that you've seen your mom wear over the years?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that. I'd say
You liked that fez I wore.
yeah, I liked that bonnet.
That
the
one
bonnet
hat.
you wore that one time was gorgeous. No, I think it's always funny. I'm sure you guys did it all the time, but as whenever your parents are your reader for an
Yeah.
audition.
I was actually going to ask you that. Who reads your auditions? Because you were saying that you
My
kind of...
twin brother does it for me now.
Okay.
Shout out Cam,
Yeah.
best reader in the game.
Love
It
that.
really is. If you ever
But
need one.
it used to be my mom and my dad, and so. But I think I loved seeing the characters that my parents would
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I think that was my
I
favorite.
love
hat.
that. Scene partner.
Yeah, scene partner.
Love that.
I love
Scene
it.
partner.
I
What's
can
your
agree.
favorite hat that she?
Oh my gosh. Me?
Yeah.
I think, scene partner's been fun. I mean, just for both of my parents, I think that with my mom, chauffeur has been fun because like
Right.
we've done like carpool karaoke and stuff
That
like
is
that.
cute.
I bet that's fun.
That's my
I
dad.
feel
I
like
wanna
my
go in
dad.
that
I
car
feel like
ride.
with my
It's a
dad,
fun one.
this one's more serious, but like my dad kind of being my therapist has been pretty great. Just like
Yeah.
kind of like being able to
Aw.
like be there for me, even
Aw.
like what I told you guys about what happened last
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
with,
yeah.
like, the-
Yeah.
that sounds
We'll save it for
save
another podcast.
But
It's a beautiful story.
but yeah, no, like just being like it being the kind of the man I can look up to and that type of
Yeah.
stuff. So
Aw.
It's beautiful.
that's been
Love you,
cool
bud.
and be friends. I love you, Dad. Trying to think about what else. I mean,
Stylist-
oh, I got it. Personal
stylist is-
chef.
Oh,
My mom can cook up
Personal
some
chef.
stuff.
you
Oh,
chef it up. What's your
really?
favorite
My mom can
dish?
chef.
Oh, you're lucky.
What's your favorite dish to make?
My mom makes a mean spaghetti.
I do make good spaghetti.
Spaghetti
Yeah,
bolognese.
spaghetti bolognese.
I do make
But
some
that's
good
just the tip of
spaghetti.
the iceberg.
Okay.
I mean, she's the type that can just like run in the kitchen and go, I think I'll grab that. and
Yeah.
that,
Really?
go
She's
with
just
that.
good
Put
at
it
cooking.
together.
Throw it together. I don't understand how
No,
you do that.
no,
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
either HelloFresh or Trader Joe's.
Right.
Well, I just also feel like we live such wild lives
Yeah.
where
100%.
we don't have consistency. Like we don't just eat at home every single night.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when we have a night to go home and eat,
like, let's
I
do it.
want to like save $150 from
Yeah.
Postmates thing every
Yeah.
single
Yes,
thing,
please.
unless Postmates wants to sponsor us, hey, shout out
Yeah.
Postmates.
I posted this. Wait, no.
Yeah.
I postmated this
Isn't
Chick-fil-A.
it funny though that like in this industry, because that was a big part of for us as well, that you say that, is that just those meals together
Yeah.
were so important to like even when we were on tour, that was so important to us to be able to like have family dinners every night. Like we couldn't wait until we were able to like cook again
Yeah.
Wow.
instead of going
When
to
we'd
a
get those
restaurant or
hotels that
something.
had a kitchen,
Yeah.
we were
It
like,
was just, it was
grocery
those type of
shopping.
things that we look
Little
forward to
things.
cooking again and eating as a family,
Yeah.
and kind of sharing
things
those
you take for
moments that-
granted when you're
Totally.
not, they're just eating together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we always ate together, but not
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
home cooked meal.
Like a
Yeah, no,
home-cooked
home
meal.
cooked
Yeah,
meals
yeah.
were
Something
like one of
about it.
those things.
Yeah, it's different.
Chef's
When
kiss.
you're
Yeah.
cooking on a hot plate in a hotel,
Just to
Yeah.
try to
just
make
so that
something.
you can have
Totally.
that home cooked dinner, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I know.
Yes.
I
It's
never
like-
thought I'd be like, ooh, I don't want to go to that fancy restaurant. I'm done with that. I want to make a stir fry. I literally was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had such a great Les
Yeah.
Mis was a great tour. Like
Yeah.
they treated us well.
Yeah.
And we would eat out at all fancy restaurants and then we'd go and see the show every night.
Yeah,
it was
that's so
fun.
amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's
And
gonna
the
be like
restaurants were paid
that.
for?
That's what?
Restaurants were paid for?
Pretty much
Stipend,
everything. Yeah,
in a way.
It was
Yeah.
a great
You had a
tour.
perfect-
That's awesome.
I don't know if they even have those kind of tours anymore.
No, but it's gonna be like that when
Yeah.
we
I
when
think
we all
it'll
go
be
on
like that
tour.
for
I
you
was ditching
guys.
if we go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You should
Yeah.
actually get that reservation now.
Oh, yeah.
I know. There's probably a long wait list on that one.
You know,
We'll
that's
probably go
exciting
there.
too, though. It's like the meeting the other parents along the way.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
because the dynamics are so different
Totally.
between different productions. You know,
Yeah.
you'll meet certain people in a production and you become like locked friends immediately, and then the other productions you'll be on, and it's like you may pass the parents once in a while. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for you guys to be able to like share that experience on tour.
Yeah.
As well as us, because you guys seem pretty cool.
thanks,
I'm
man. I
excited
feel the
to
same.
be able to
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
share some experiences out on the road when we get
Yeah.
out there and
Yeah.
get to be together. You know,
Well, a couple of us other dads have already been talking about maybe we get like a
I haven't been
Winnebago.
included in this.
Well, see, now you're in.
Here. Yeah, thank you.
You're in. We have a little secret, you know,
Give a
Club
group chat.
together.
called
Yeah.
Disney
Winnebago.
Dads.
Disney
Disney
Dads.
Dads.
Yeah,
We
gotcha,
talked about
yeah.
doing
There
that.
will be-
Yeah, they said they would get a Winnebago and
That's
like
so
follow the
funny.
buses.
That's what we said.
All
We
the
were
dads.
like,
What's
maybe
that?
we get a Winnebago.
An
A
RV.
camper.
Like an
Yeah.
RV.
Oh my gosh, that's genius. Can
We
you
were
get
literally thinking
an
that.
We'll
RV
just
and
do
then
our
you
own
can
thing.
cook us
Have a
home
We
party
can
cooked
start our
I know.
own
And
show
then you
back
guys
there.
get
We
to
can
be
film
in
the
the
whole thing
there
along
instead
the
of
way.
My boys, I have
Can
a
we
couple,
set up a
couple of
MOMager
my
podcast
friends.
studio in the
for-
car?
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
like, I have a couple of my friends who are going to get in their car and follow for a little bit.
Cool.
Really?
I love that.
Yeah.
Tyler, Owen, and
That'll
Lisa
make
are
it
gonna
so
hop in the
much
car and
nicer.
do that.
Listen, some of the experiences that the parents would have just because we would have to wait for the kids during the show. So
Yeah.
it's like, what do you do during the show? You know, for us as parents, it was either we'd go to a restaurant and hang out, or we'd go to a local bar or something
Yeah.
like that. But the relationships you build with the parents and some of the adventures that the parents have
Mhm.
were as exciting
Wow.
as,
Yeah.
you know, like we'd tell the kids when we'd pick the kids up, what did you guys do? They'd be like, oh, you can't, we don't even have the time to tell you everything we did in the 2 hours that you guys
Yeah.
were doing a show. You
So
know?
much.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm excited
Well, we
to
were
be
on a
able to
lot
do
of
that with
adventures
guys.
while you were
It'll be
doing your
fun.
thing.
yeah.
I love
It'll
that.
be fun. I
It's
can't
gonna be
wait.
So fun. Okay, Josh,
it'll
if
be
you
aight.
had to,
It'll be fun.
what did you say?
I said, yeah, it'll be all right.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you had to pick, Josh, between Broadway or TV and film,
Oh.
don't make me
Facts.
pick, or you could pick.
It's kind of don't make me pick. I think the medium in between is movie musical.
Yeah.
So I'd probably
Yeah.
have to say movie.
Yeah.
And also because I say this on every interview I do. I think
Yeah.
like I love theater is like you get the instant gratification from the audience, and it's like it's so special because it's just you and the audience. And that one
Yeah.
night, it was like that was the one performance. But again, you don't have much to show for it after the fact.
Yeah.
Like you know, of TV and movie and stuff like.
lives on.
It lives on forever,
Yeah.
and I can show my kids, or I can, show
Yeah.
anybody. It's also more accessible for people that don't live, in New York to go see Broadway and
Yeah.
everything. So I think TV and film, it's just like you can kind of build more
Yeah.
on that. You know what I mean? And once you do Broadway, it's like, well, yeah, you can do Broadway so many times, but like
yeah.
there's just so much more with TV
Yeah.
and film. I feel like, but love
Dream
my
role.
roots. Love my roots. Dream role.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Flynn Rider, I would love to do.
Yeah, you
But
would.
there's so many people that could do Flynn Rider. But on Broadway, there's like so many. There's so many
What
characters
about
I
like
want to
current
play.
Broadway? Like what's
Oh my
currently,
gosh,
what would you love?
Orpheus! I'd love to
Yeah.
do
Oh,
Orpheus.
So good. One of
Oh,
our
and I know you
favorites.
have an
You
Orpheus.
saw it.
Or I know you
Oh
have-
yeah, we saw it. It was
I got
one of my
that in my-
favorites. Yeah.
Got that in my throat.
So beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw it with the original cast too.
Oh
It
my
was-
gosh, yeah, and
Yeah.
they just
Wow.
filmed it
Yeah.
too. They just
Which one?
filmed
Yeah.
it
I
in
love
London. I love
That was a
Broadway.
very moving musical
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
So
Like I just
beautiful.
remember not really thinking through what I was about to, which I kind of love going to a show and not knowing what the
Yeah.
story is
Same.
necessarily.
Mhm.
Like I don't like to listen to the soundtrack before I go see it in
Yeah.
the
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 musical.
only one I've ever listened to
Same.
before was I listened to Evan Hansen some of it. Before.
Yeah.
We
Like,
saw
literally
Jaron
just
Hansen
went-
3 times on
Yeah,
Broadway.
And then
I
I've
love
and
that
then I
show.
had a lot of the songs on Hamilton's.
Of
Yeah.
course. Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah.
Hamilton.
I had
Are you
no
Oh,
kidding me?
idea.
Hamilton.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love Hamilton.
Yeah.
No, but what you're saying about the like not knowing the show going in is so
Yeah.
exciting. And that's how my
Yeah.
parents were with Newsies. Like they obviously knew Les Mis so well
Right.
back
Yeah.
and forth. And so being in that, they knew what to expect. But when I got Newsies on
Yeah.
Broadway, they had when they were sitting in the audience for
Yeah.
the first time, that's when they knew what my part was, what was happening,
No
all
way.
of that. And so that was probably really exciting and fun for
Oh
you.
yeah, I had no idea what Newsies. I just do about Newsboys. I didn't know his part
Yeah.
was going to be that big. Yeah, it was incredible.
That's
so
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
Okay, Robbie. Say we are making a survival guide
Okay.
on being a momager.
All right.
I have a few questions that would go into Robbie's survival guide.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Best.
Are you bringing a sword?
Possibly.
Okay, sounds good.
Possibly, yes. Okay. First question. Your best on-set mom hack. Like, what's your number one trick for surviving a long filming day?
I got it.
Okay.
I send Brad. I send Brad.
It's true.
So let's start this
Very
over.
good.
Brad's survival guide.
You know
Honestly,
what? Believe it or not,
a lot
granola
of
bars
him.
were like one of the things that
Yeah.
like is because
Luna bar.
when they got hungry, that's something that you had to deal with right then and there, and you
Yeah.
didn't have access to food most of the time. So having something quick that you can
When you were on tour
Ours was
specifically.
PB&J.
just
Just
not
anywhere.
on tour. Just even if
Uncrustable.
you're like in the
Yeah.
city doing something, it's like the time crunches in between certain things
Yeah.
are so tight that I think hanger
Mhm.
is one of those things
Yes.
you have to deal
Yeah.
with. You
Yeah.
know? So
We
that
don't
was
need
probably something
hangriness.
quick
No.
that I would
No
go to.
hangry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was us with PB&J sandwiches
Oh, yeah, in New Zealand.
In New Zealand. It was
That was
like
your staple.
lived.
every single
Yeah.
Yeah,
location.
just
We
dealing
had
with
something.
hanger, I
a loaf
think,
of bread,
is good.
a jar of peanut butter, and a jar of jelly,
Yeah.
in our schoolroom.
Mm.
And
Yeah. You
I
had it
would
in your
sit there and
trailer,
I would
too.
I
just
made several like emergency runs for PB&J's.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
like-
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just
Something.
I
It'll
would
save
say
you.
probably
Yeah.
racked back like 3 a day.
My gosh.
Okay,
Yeah,
next
yeah.
one. An oh no moment. What's a time when things totally went off the rails behind the scenes and how did you handle it? Either one of you.
Huh. Everything went crazy. Like, let me think.
Yeah, just like whew.
I always thought that like timing was everything. It was like the pressure for the parents was always the timing. Like they have to be here at
Yeah.
a certain time. They have to be here
Yeah.
at a certain time. And it's like they say that, but they don't put into consideration like New York traffic or the subways or any of that
Yeah.
stuff. They just give you these arbitrary times. Sometimes it could be at the last minute that they give you a time that you
To
have
be
to
somewhere.
be there, and you just have to deal with it. So it was always like the time
Being late for
me,
something.
just
Yeah.
never trying to never be late. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then there was times like when we came to
Yeah, like we'd have to
we
run.
came to San Diego. We were in San Diego, and we wanted to come and meet with some agents here in LA. And Josh was doing a show that night.
Yeah.
We came into the city and met with the agents and thought, "Oh, this is a no-brainer."
We had no idea about
And
LA
then
traffic.
the
Oh, no.
traffic trying
No
to get
idea.
back to the show. We were like on the phone with them, going, "I don't know if we're gonna make it." You know what I mean?
We did. We made it.
We
Ooh.
made it.
Right.
But there's a
But
couple
it's
times,
just-
like
yeah.
I remember like running, like
Yeah.
in Chicago, we were like, because you have that break or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like, oh, we should probably get going.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
run. But yeah, that's the time because
Yeah.
you can't be late.
Have you
Timing
had
is
any
everything.
moments like that since being an adult and doing things more on your own where you were like, I miss my parents with me because holy,
Yeah.
I just messed up? Or
Yeah,
had an oh
like-
no moment.
You
No,
can be
I own
honest.
the moment. I own the moment. I
You're
mean,
pretty responsible
in the moment for sure, but after the fact, I mean, I do. I call them after the
Yeah.
fact. Like on set, if I have like a rough day where I'm like, oh, like everything was like crazy day.
Yeah.
Or when I was filming Descendants, honestly, I don't think I would have wanted my parents there because it was just so hectic. But like, I literally was filming Descendants during the day, and then
Yeah.
I had to go from the set. I'd like leave early in the morning and go straight from set to the airport to go to Canada to go from the airport to the other set of Dead Boy Detectives and film my scene
like
went
directly out,
directly
right?
from that.
Yeah.
Like
so-
same day?
Yeah.
Same day. I had my hook eyeliner still on as the I'm like
What?
trying to. It was literally from the airport like to the
It was
set.
a flight though.
What do you
Like
mean?
Yes.
you were filming in Vancouver.
Yes, it was a flight.
And then where were you filming Dead Boy Detectives?
no, I was filming in Atlanta.
Oh, gotcha.
and then
How long is that flight?
That's
like
a minute.
yeah, it was a minute. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
minute.
that was-
But from the airport to set at night to go film like this huge scene.
Oh
Yeah.
my
It was crazy.
gosh.
So moments like that where
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's so. But those are always so exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so in shock right
yeah.
now.
That's wild.
No,
I'm
that
never
was like
doing that.
such a wild day.
It's fun.
Shout out,
Oh, you
shout
will,
out
though.
Descendants. Shout out
He loves
Dead Boy
doing that.
Detectives for the scheduling of all
Yeah,
that.
they made it
They
happen.
really made it
That's
happen.
crazy.
Yeah.
But no, moments like that were like so crazy. But that goes into the timing of everything, like the plane getting delayed or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's things like that. It's
'Cause
like
it's other people's money
yeah,
and time.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah. That's a gift that they let you
So I mean,
work that
like,
out.
truly,
Because not everybody
truly.
works that out for
No,
you.
they were so good.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. A red carpet. We already talked about some red carpet stuff,
Yeah, we
but
did.
like red carpet reality check. Like something about red carpets that people may not know.
Paula's not always there.
Yeah, Paula isn't
Yeah,
always
I
there.
mean, they have the handler.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to like, and like usually you're like with your publicist.
Yeah.
So you have like somebody there kind of guiding you.
Maybe that
through
it's
it.
not always just like, it can be hectic.
Yeah.
No, it was really crazy. The Snow
The
White
carpet's
one
not always red.
specifically.
The carpet's not always red.
Good
That's
point.
pretty shocking.
Carpet's not always red.
Good point.
And it's not always carpet. I knew that from going to the Elton John's final thing. It was
That's
a
right,
Yellow
it
Brick
was-
Road.
It was Yellow Brick
that's
Road.
cool.
Yep,
Oh,
that's
wow.
funny.
No, that's actually good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
I guess the carpet not being always
That's
red.
funny.
But it's kind of what you expect most of the time,
Yeah.
though. It is
Yeah.
definitely just hectic, though.
Yeah, very.
Yeah,
More than
yeah.
you
Thank
think.
God you were there to be like with our little names.
I-
Thanks.
yeah.
MOMager.
I'm like holding
That's
their,
MOMager. That was
their,
so MOMager.
Josh Colley and Malachi Barton names.
If anybody
Showing
could
the
actually
cameras.
understand like what the Josh's thing read.
Yeah.
I know. I had to write it myself.
Yeah.
It was
He
a
was like-
little illegible, but that's all right.
Okay. If Josh weren't an actor, what's something else you could totally see him doing?
Oh gosh.
I love this question.
Like an artist.
Ooh.
Yeah, like he's
Yeah,
a
I know that.
fantastic artist.
I
Are
know.
you an
I know he
artist?
is.
Yeah.
Really?
I know he
Stuff?
is. He drew a portrait of me
What?
I did.
Yeah.
During one of
He-
our
he'll do
shoot
you real
days.
during one of our
He's
promo
so good.
shoots. When remember the like hidden talent thing?
Yeah.
His hidden talent was that he could
it was
draw.
yours.
Anything
And
we
he
can
drew,
see? Anything we
uh,
can
No,
pull
you
up?
just-
Like I could probably find something. No, there's nothing online about
I
it.
always,
my
I always
gosh, he's
threaten
so
Josh.
good.
I said one day I'm gonna just like create a website and like put up a bunch of your pictures and just have people be able to access them. You know what I mean? Because some of the things that he doodles, you know what I mean?
Wow.
It would take me a year to draw something
Yeah.
that complicated that he can doodle out in like
Thank you so
10,
much.
5-10
That's
minutes. You know what I
incredible.
mean? So yeah.
I feel like
Put it on pen and
that
paper.
promo shoot was a bad example of my artistic ability.
Oh
'cause
yeah, it was
They
horrible.
literally
I
gave
mean,
me
those pictures were
60,
just god.
60 seconds and it was like the biggest canvas you ever seen. I was like, like trying to just get something down.
That is so funny. I didn't know you guys did that. I love
It
that.
was so fun.
We need-
And then I got up
Malachi's,
there and
yeah.
I was like,
Oh, when you juggled. Oh,
and
Yeah.
then
that's right.
apparently
Yeah.
Freya could play the flute, but
Yeah.
she couldn't actually play the flute.
That's
It
incredible.
was
He
really
doesn't have
fun.
to.
And then Dara got up there.
Oh yeah, we heard that from the distance. She does opera.
Yeah.
Oh, she
She
did
killed it.
opera.
She killed it.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I
You're
didn't know
doing
that
that.
about her. I didn't. Yeah.
Okay, lastly, one piece of advice
Okay.
for other parents who suddenly find themselves raising a performer,
Mhm.
like we have all found ourselves. What's the one thing you feel like they need to know?
I would just say, don't try to make it the one thing you're auditioning for isn't going to be the it.
Right.
There's not an it. If I could tell somebody, I'd like to say, you're never going to make it.
Mm,
It's just, it's a road, it's a journey.
Yeah.
You're gonna make it a couple times along the way.
mm,
But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there are people that make it. You're like, what?
yeah.
The first time he got what? You know,
Yeah.
we have friends like that. We're just like dumbfounded by how successful and great they are and great projects. So it does happen. But I really suggest not getting too wrapped up in,
100%.
oh, if he gets this, this is gonna be it. Or
Mm.
she gets this, it's gonna be,
It's
this
a
is gonna be the
journey.
one.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's such a journey.
Yeah.
And it literally, like we were saying, it's accidentally happens sometimes. You accidentally like
Yeah.
just keep
The
falling
right thing
into
comes around and
it does.
Yeah.
And we always say submit and forget.
yeah.
That's
Or
great.
submit
I
it and
love
forget
that.
it. Because and they've been really good with that. Because you have to have such thick skin.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I think that was going to
You
be
know?
my thing is
Yeah,
saying
the
that,
thick
that
skin, right?
being able to kind of have the ability to face rejection
Yeah.
because that's 98% of it, you know, is constantly putting yourself out there and doing what you perceive to be the best of you and then never hearing anything. And like, even from your agents, sometimes it's like, well, what did even you think about what I did? You know what I mean? So
Nobody's
it's one of
gonna
those
validate
professions,
anything I
there's
did.
no validation
Yeah.
until you get the part. And then you're like, oh, that's that moment that everyone thinks, oh, that's it. I got it. But there's so many, there's 98% of the time it's that no
Right.
or nothing. You just don't hear anything.
Crickets.
There's
Yeah, you don't
there's
hear anything.
never any
Yeah.
validation
Crickets.
to it. So just that kind of persistence, I would always say,
Mm.
you know, just having faith in what you're doing, obviously, because if you want to believe in what you're doing and believe in your child or believe in the project, but consistently staying supportive. And I think that's it, is when you lose that kind of the drive of like, it can happen to me, is when you kind of start having all of those doubts, you know? So being consistent and knowing that, you know, if you just stay with it, something will happen. It might not be the biggest project that you anticipated, but something will happen if you stay with
Eventually.
it.
It's a
and
numbers
keep your
game.
passion. Yeah.
You got to do, I know everybody says it. It sounds so cliche, but you do have to do so many.
Hundreds of auditions.
Hundreds. And you'll get one. And that's about how it goes.
Yeah.
There
100%.
are those people that keep booking and blessed. Booked and blessed. You know, and we love those people.
Hashtag.
And it takes a parent to kind of like be there for their child in those moments, I think, too, because there was a lot of times that there is such a huge letdown, like when you have something and you've been promised something and told something, and then the industry changes on a dime, because it does that. You know, they make changes in that last minute.
We've had
and
a
that
lot of
last
those
minute,
times.
it doesn't include you and you thought it did, and then having to recover from that, I think, is a big part of the parent's job as well, to reassure your child that, you know, it's not you that was the reason for this. It was outside of your control. Just keep on your path, doing what you do the best that you can do, and then the universe will find its way to line
You really
you
have
up
to
with
believe
it.
that, though. You can't just, you know, you have to believe that. You have to know that it's not you.
Yeah. You
It's
have to
not
go
you.
in knowing
Yeah.
that.
You have to go in not thinking anything except, I'm going to do this. And if they like it, they're going to book me. If they don't, then I'm going to go and do the next one. But that's the hard part, because you do take it, you take it very seriously, you know?
Yeah. We've always said, like, you hold auditions like this. Like anything, you hold everything that you do like with open hands,
with
because
open hands.
like it's, you can't, the minute you grab onto it and you're like, this is mine, or like, I'm going to control this experience. I'm going to like,
it's a great analogy.
Yeah, you just, you got to like keep it open.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a like also like surrender, you know, it's like, it's, you can't control it. It's
And yours
just
is, I'm about to cook. If you close your hands too early, you might just miss something else.
What?
There it is. Well, speaking of something
You heard it right here,
that you guys did not miss, this tour that you're about to go on.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of years of touring experience myself in production management and mixing sound and doing that sort of stuff. And from what I've heard, you've got quite a bit of experience. You guys are going to play Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean,
that is crazy.
I've had some experience. I've never played Madison Square Garden.
Oh my God.
You've done Madison Square Garden, right?
I have, but I didn't even do like the arena aspect of it. There's like a theater
theater
at
side.
Madison Square
yeah,
Garden.
yeah.
Similar, but not to the scale
The
of
arena,
like, like the only thing I can, like the only place, I did the Hollywood Bowl, and that's kind of like a huge crowd, but an arena is like, like all around you, like coming from every direction. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm literally so excited. I'm so happy I get to do it with Malachi.
Oh, I know.
And you guys too.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
We're all gonna be
fun.
on that bus.
What is your now you guys were telling us the tour you did though was fly dates. You haven't done like the bus tour side of it,
No.
right? So even with flying, I wonder like what's a piece of advice that you guys have for that tour life?
Hit it.
Oh God, I got the best advice.
Yes, write it down.
Don't pack a lot.
Mm.
Guys, you'll
I'm
never
already
wear.
thinking about that. I'm already
when I
thinking
left
about
for
it.
Literally just
tour,
told me
I
that.
was ridiculous. I was when I left for tour. I didn't know any. I just like had so much. Like I was gonna wear something new every day.
Yeah.
And go shopping, and it's like you just because it's a it's a
A
grind.
grind. Yeah.
Tights and t-shirts.
Sometimes it's Groundhog Day. You're like, it's every day.
yeah.
But yeah, I would say just pack light.
Yeah.
Because you have to do usually under 50 anyways. For ours, it was under 50.
because you're flying, right?
But so yeah, just
Because
pack
you're
as light
pulling
as you
that
can.
suitcase out from under the bus
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
grabbing what
That's
you
gonna
need.
be a
That's
hard
the
one
worst
for you.
part.
What?
Packing light.
Yeah, I don't pack light.
No.
I leave for a weekend trip and I bring my entire closet.
You
Really?
like clothes.
It's
You're
bad.
a clothes horse.
I am
Yes,
a very
he
big
is.
fashion clothes.
You
Yeah,
have such
I mean,
nice
this is
It's
a
clothes.
tougher for
calm
the artists because,
something.
like, for me working in production, I just have a few black outfits,
Yeah.
my black
Right,
shirts.
t-shirts,
right.
I'm
black jeans.
very efficient. I'm
Yeah.
very stripped down, and it's like, and I have to move, and
Yeah.
I'm keeping track of details as a tour manager, doing all that. Like,
Mhm.
but the artists, no, you've got to have the looks, and you got to have
Yeah.
all the stuff.
It's
you know,
kinda
so-
That's the
true.
thing, because like I only go outside fitted. Like this is something. This is
can't.
calm for me. Like this is like I woke up and I didn't want to get fitted. So I'm gonna, like,
I love.
Right.
I mean, you're.
I'm gonna throw a little something like.
I love
calm
that
on
new
it. You know what I
sweatshirt,
mean?
though.
So I'm
It's
like,
so nice.
but I'm also like, you know what? I just out on tour. Like we're gonna be touring around. We're gonna be going.
It's gonna be
different
hot
places.
too. It's the
I'm gonna be
summer.
wanting like I'm gonna be wanting like 10 different pairs of
Yeah.
jorts. I want like 5 shoes with me.
He will live in his. He will live in some jorts.
You know where I'm gonna get, guys? You guys know those packing cubes?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Where
What is it?
okay, so you pack, and they're like big tall things, and they're like shelves.
Oh,
And
okay.
you fill the shelf, and once the shelf is full, it's like an air seal, and you push it all down.
Oh, and it's like a
Collapses
suitcase.
down.
And then
Yeah,
you can open
it's
it
like the
back up,
vacuum.
pick something,
Oh, you guys
push
need
it
to
up.
get those.
Yeah.
That's
You can-
genius.
that-
I've been
that's-
I've been
I want that.
meaning to invest in
let's-
some
let's get
luxury
those, yeah.
laundry. No,
Luxury.
luxury
Luggage.
luggage.
Luxury
Luggage.
luggage.
Wait, there's something there.
There's
a
something
name.
there.
Luggage.
There's gotta
I
be
love
something
it.
there.
Luxury.
What's your favorite city that you guys are looking forward to?
I'm honestly really excited for New York. I am so excited for Madison Square Garden. Also,
Yeah.
like so many of my friends are there
Yeah.
that are like,
gonna
we're
be a
coming,
party.
we're coming,
I know.
we're coming.
It's gonna
I'm
be
like,
a
I
huge
hope we
one.
have a
I
whole
know.
section.
I'm excited
know.
for LA.
For, LA, New York.
I'm
I
excited
Yeah,
love
for
that
those
you
are
guys
dope
are doing a
ones.
lot in LA.
I
or
know.
in
Like 3
California.
shows out here.
That's so
I'm
nice.
excited
3
for
or 4,
crypto.
yeah.
Crypto's gonna be a fun one because that's
Oh.
I know that's where like all my boys are.
Mhm.
So it's like all my boys are gonna come out.
Fun.
They're
my
gonna
God.
clown me for the rest of
Oh,
my
you're
life.
in
They're gonna
such
be like,
trouble.
"Oh my god, yeah, chilling, like feeling." Like they're just that's what's gonna be happening.
Gotta love them.
I love
But,
it.
you know, those are my boys. I love
Yeah,
those. I
that's
love
cool.
those guys.
I also wanted to just quickly, because we've talked about your brother the whole time. What's that twin life like?
Twin Life's amazing. I literally love him so much. He does like music production now. And
Yeah.
so like that's kind of his bag. We make music together a lot of the time. He's my bestie. That's
Yeah.
my bestie. And MK is a twin too, which
Yeah.
I didn't even know until I listened to your podcast.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you just are collecting twins, aren't you?
Collecting twins.
Collecting twins. Shout
Twin
out.
friends.
No, he's the best though, and always the most supportive. And
That's
I
awesome.
him as well. So
That's
yeah.
very cool.
So he's doing production. Is he like Pro Tools?
Yeah, his
Ableton?
dog. He
Everything.
loves Pro
Yeah.
Tools,
My
Logic,
guy.
Ableton.
Yeah.
He
He
like
actually
teaches it and
teaches.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
Really?
like, I watch him and I'm just like, actually, like, I don't.
I've heard some of his work.
You asked?
What are you talking about?
The one that you said. The one that you.
I don't know
When
if
we were
he
in the
did that one,
Oh,
Yeah.
but I have played you some music.
the one really funny song that you guys made.
Oh, yes, he did do that
Yeah,
one.
I know.
Malachi knowing better than me. No, but he's great. He's great. And I love being a twin. It's like a built-in best friend.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I don't have.
Were
any
you
siblings.
surprised that you were?
Only
I'm just
child.
lonely.
Were you surprised that you were
I
having
was
twins?
So surprised.
Yeah.
So I was like so nauseous during my pregnancy.
You're like, this is
And
double
of course
the nausea.
you look everything up. And I'm like, oh, okay. And my mother-in-law is going, you're gonna have twins. You're nauseous. And I was like,
Yeah.
no. And then I got there and she literally put it on there. And she's
Sonogram,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
and
Two
she's like, and
heartbeats.
she tells me, and she's, I'm gonna leave you guys alone for a second. And I just remember going like this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like, how is this gonna happen?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? But it was such a blessing.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
I love it.
If you can,
Built-in
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's an extraordinary.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you would think that because they're twins, that everyone always asks us how competitive they are, especially if they were in the same industry.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And they couldn't have been more supportive of each other
That's beautiful.
in that kind of like context. I always was surprised when people were like trying to imply that one was doing better than the other, or you know, one was jealous of the other, or something
it's really
like
not
that.
true.
It was never that.
Not in
It
our
was like,
situation
Yeah.
anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
as
Been
much
blessed.
as like
Been blessed.
acclaim Josh was getting, Cam was getting just as much in his own right.
I
You know,
love
like
it.
Cam performed at Madison Square
Yeah.
Gardens as well. He
Oh,
performed
yeah.
on Broadway.
Yeah,
He
he sang the national
does
anthem there.
you know what
That's
I mean?
amazing.
All of these
Wow,
things
wow.
that, you know, you just go, wow, Josh, you're in the light of all
Yeah.
this, but it's like he was just as much in the
Yeah.
light, just in his own
Yeah.
right, you know, doing the
Yeah.
same thing, just in his own lane, doing
Totally.
it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? His own spotlight.
Well, and that's a
over here.
credit to you guys also as
Totally.
parents,
Thank
you know,
you.
for encouraging and, you know, allowing
Yeah.
each of them
Thank you.
to, you know, become themselves
Yeah.
and encourage their gifts,
Mhm.
whatever
Well,
those
you as
are,
well,
you
just
know?
from this
That's why
podcast
I feel
alone,
like we're
doing the
so
MOMager
similar.
alone and sharing information with people who are in the industry who have shared experiences like this.
Yeah.
It's what you're doing as well. promotes and helps people along the way. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I wish there was a MOMager podcast when we were doing it, because everything was like brand new. You know, you had to learn along the way. You had to go through contracts and all of the things and learn how to just the ins and outs of the
Or if
industry.
you got a job, like we were from Florida and then we went on tour and then he got New York, you know, he got Broadway. So we were like, well, I guess we have to get an apartment now in New York. So that there's all that to
Which
think
isn't
about,
easy.
like living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to do that? So that was probably the most challenging part to figure out, like, how are we going to do this now that we're done with the fun on the tour? Because that was really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
It was important to
So
us
easy.
is that we did it a little bit different than most parents do too. It was a priority for us to stay together as a
Yes.
family.
Absolutely. I
Like
love that.
on tour, we saw so many parents that were split up. One parent would come and be out here for the longest time, and it puts such a strain on the
does.
relationships. Even just their family dynamic, it was strained. You know what I mean? So that was so important to us that throughout the entire experience, no matter how small or how big it was going to be, we always stayed together as a family and supported each other, and were there as that kind of like anchor that you can come home to every night and be that base of normality, I guess you
And
could
it's
say,
still
you
like
know?
that.
And that's how it is still.
It's
And I
still like that.
appreciate that because
I'll take it as long as I
now,
can.
at this age, you would think that they, like, I remember when I was, you know, just turning 17, I couldn't wait to get out of the house and be away from my parents. So the fact that Josh and Cam still like to include us in the experiences that they have, I think is
It's a huge
really,
compliment to y'all as parents, you know?
Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate
Really
it. And I
Thank
look
you.
at you too. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I feel like you guys are just like-
know there's a shared experience
Yeah.
when I look at other people in the industry, because it's like, I know what you had to go through to get to where you are, Malachi. You know what I mean? There's such a sacrifice that your parents, not that your effort and all of your ability and your talent isn't, you know, commendable and everything, but it's that people that kind of facilitate getting you there. You know what I mean? That's
So
and the
well
fact
said,
that he still allows us to be a part of it is like a blessing. You know what
Of course,
I mean?
always and forever.
Yeah.
Aw.
I love that. You know, when he goes, Mom, do you want to go to the premiere with me? Those were the things that when you were, you know, when your kid's just a little kid, you dream about those things, you know, and you go, one day I hope that because you see it on the Golden Globes or the Emmys or something where the celebrities are like, this is my mom. I brought my mom or my dad with me. And I'm always like, that's so amazing that they are sharing this still with their parents instead of their significant other or something like that. I always get that warm feeling in my heart when I see that.
I love it so
and
much.
so that he's doing that with his mom or asking me if I want to be a part of something like that. It's just that kind of realization of it finally.
Or even, you want to come on this podcast?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
When he came here, he was shooting senior year and he came to LA. It was like, we had been to LA as a family when he did the Hollywood Bowl, and I loved it. I was like, oh, this is so nice. Because I'm not really a New Yorker type of person. It's very overwhelming for me. I did love the experience, but it's kind of a love-hate kind of deal, you know? So when we were here, I was like, I love it here.
Yeah.
The weather, we can drive. This is great. And then we went to, a couple of years went by and we were in Florida, and then he got senior year and he came out to LA and he's like, I really like it here. He was meeting people, things were happening.
Yeah.
And he goes, you guys want to come? Come. And I'm like, you do not have to ask me twice.
Yeah, I love
I'm out of here, you know?
that.
So yeah, that you don't have to ask me twice, because wherever my kids are is where I'm going to go.
I love it.
So,
Well, I think it was that too. I think he was basically saying to us, I'm here
yeah,
now.
like I'm here. So if
I
you
would
want to be with me,
like you to join me if you
Really
want to join
appreciate
me.
it.
Yeah. So the fact that he even
I'm
asked
looking
us
for
to
roomies.
come, we were like, wow,
Of
let's do it.
course.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. What you're saying is like the great compliment is for our adult children to say, I want you to still be a part of my
of
life.
it. Yeah.
like I would have
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
thought that was
Because-
a thing.
right,
but
right.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, you
It's a
think
beautiful
that
thing.
it
Because
would
it's
be
their
the
choice.
opposite when they
Yeah.
get a
Right.
little bit of success, that they would pull away from you and kind of start living their own life and not feel like you're as important part of it as you were when you were mom or dad driving them, and you had to be that person to bring them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's their choice to include you,
Yeah.
which I think is what you're saying is
one
really
of the
special.
things I love too in just this last bit of conversation that I'm hearing is the importance, which is what we talk about on this podcast all the time, is the importance of family and the fact that you guys decided to move as a unit. We've done the same through different projects. And I think like that's a big piece of advice that I'm hearing just from this podcast to all of our viewers and our listeners is if you can, for the sake of your family, if you can do it as a family, if you can move as a unit, it really does make a difference. Because when you come home at night from filming, a long day or whatever it is you're doing, and you can kind of just settle back into like, this is my home. These are my people. This is my comfort. It really does help, I think, with the grounding in such a bizarre, wild world that we're all a part of.
Exactly.
It really is so helpful. So I love that you guys have moved as a unit.
Good. They're good guys. Like they're good.
Hey.
So we're both
good guys that are going on
Which is
board.
a testament to you guys. I mean, that's always how it is as
Same,
well,
same.
Because I'm sure
You
not
can
all
tell.
guys are gonna, they're like you said, they're just gonna be like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm 23. What are you talking about? Bye.
Yeah. What about what's next? Anything besides tour? Anything else in the works right now?
I mean, there's things in the pipeline, of course. But again, you guys keeping those hands open, not grabbing.
Don't close them because you might just miss another opportunity.
Yeah, I can't close them. But no,
Malachi Barton.
There's some fun things, and writing, releasing music, things that are in my control.
Yeah, I love
there's
that.
lots of fun things to look forward to. Yeah.
Good.
He's got some really good songs coming out. I think that your fans
I
want
wanna
to
hear them.
Oh my gosh, I'll play them for you.
Okay.
I know you're the songwriter over here. I'll need your advice.
Guys, this was so much fun.
Guys,
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
Seriously,
this is
thank
a
you
lot
guys
of
so
fun.
much for
Thank you
coming
for
on
having us,
MOMager.
yeah.
Thanks for having
taking us
us.
behind the scenes of your Hollywood family life.
Thanks
Let's
for
go hit
letting me
tour.
have another dad on the bench.
I know,
of course.
Brad, what a pleasure.
I've enjoyed my
What a
time
pleasure.
here. I can't wait till we do it
love
again.
It's been a thrill just listening to your amazing voice.
Thank you, and you as
Last
well.
while.
Now they're just flirting with each other.
Hypnotized by yours, if I might just say. Enchanted, if you will.
Oh, come on. And thank you to our viewers and listeners for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications.
And we will see you next time on MOMager, a Barton Fam podcast.
It's a Momager life.
Take it day by day.